The Mitsubishi Motors Badminton HorseTrials has set the standard for three-day eventing since it began back in 1949 with the aim of training British riders for future international competitions. For many, it's still the pinnacle of the eventing year, and with the first weekend of May on the horizon, 2013 will no doubt be as exciting as ever.
Yes, I do think we can look forward to a very exciting competition, and after all, in the end, we have all sorts of other things going on here, but the most important thing is that it is an absolutely top-level competition, and this year will be as exciting in prospect as any year I can ever remember. The London Olympics certainly stimulated huge interest, and our ticket sales in advance have certainly been very, very good, so I think we can expect a very good crowd. We've got William Fox-Pitt, top British rider, coming to try and win the Rolex Grand Slam. We're very pleased also to have Michael Jung coming from Germany, the Olympic gold medalist, the only person ever to hold the European, world and Olympic titles all at the same time, an outstanding rider. And he's bringing both Sam, that he won the gold medal on, and his other very good horse. And I'm also very much looking forward to seeing Andrew Nicholson here again. He's been round 32 times, which is by a long way a record. He first rode here nearly 30 years ago, 1984, which is a heck of a long time. And he has, of course, never won it. He won the last two HSBC Classics last year at Burghley and Poe. He was in terrific form, and I know he is very keen. He really would like this title at some stage in his career.
The Grand Slam is, if it works, it works. We'll be trying for it. But, there's William, he's already won Lexington and Burghley, and then he just needs to win badminton. I need to win Lexington and the week later badminton. But it's all there to be won, and I'll be, going for it. Kimbo's a class horse. He'll be his first four-star, but he's did a very, very good job last year everywhere he went, so I'm expecting him to be able to step up to four-star well, and if I arrive there with Mr. Cruise Control or Kwanzaa or Calico J, I think they have a good chance to do well.
It's quite extraordinary, isn't it, because it has been going on. Of course I'm thinking about it. I think there's it's a fantastic prize, and the Rolex Grand Slam is any eventer's dream, and I'm in the fortunate position that I could do it, but as I said before, the likelihood is pretty slim. Lots of other riders have won two in a row and not won the third. The only one to have done it is Pippa Funnell, and I think it is a phenomenal achievement. So I've got to pull badminton off, and wouldn't that be nice? But I think the important thing is getting two good, healthy horses to badminton and just going for it and seeing what happens. And in a way, I've had so long to think about it, I'm sort of stopping to think about it, which is good. But I'm sure the media will stop that. They'll soon wind it all up and get everyone excited, which would be great.
To win any top-level competition is tough. For sure, you need I was very lucky. I just had the two horses and they were on form that year. You need the horsepower, and that's William certainly has got. I have to say good luck to him. But William's an old mate, and I don't think he needs any advice off me, because I think he's won plenty, and he would know exactly how to win, and he'd know exactly how to deal with the pressure. And I would say that for sure, I know he'd be thinking that he'd be thinking that Mrs. Funnell doesn't want him to win because I want to be the only one. But if there's one person that should win it, it should be someone like him, because he's such a high caliber jockey.
To equal Pippa would be a great feeling, very rewarding, and a little bit more banter between us. It'd be quite a good laugh. But I think at the same time, it's in the sport, it's a huge thing, and eventing isn't laden with prize money and great sponsors, and to have that on offer is superb. And also, I think to win it will would give a bit of a heightened interest in our sport, give the media something to get excited about. But as I said, I'm just not thinking about it. It was a little way off yet.
I think it's very, very good for the sport to have all that build-up, those sort of things. It's, the sport needs those sort of days, and it's something to look forward to. And I would be targeting the Rayo and Avebury badminton. They're my most experienced and my best horses at the moment. And the other thing is, as I'm away the week before in Lexington, they're two horses that are very experienced in what they're doing, so it's not difficult for me to be away for 10 days beforehand with them. Whereas if it was some of the younger ones, you're a little bit reluctant to be away for that long and expect to roll up at the biggest event in the world and have them pairing along well. But hopefully they still be able to cope well with it. And I think there will be a lot of pressure. That I've never won badminton, and I can assure you I'm quite good at putting enough pressure on myself without worrying about everyone else doing it for me.
The summer of 2012 was dominated by one event, the London Olympic Games. And there was one man who stood head and shoulders above the rest. Becoming double Olympic champion in addition to reigning European and world champion is something that had previously never been achieved until a quiet and unassuming German came to the fore. In 3 years, Michael Jung has become the man to beat at championship level. Taking a very different approach to most, he's not a regular on the four-star circuit, but won Le Moulin at his first attempt in 2009, and in 2013 is set to take up the challenge of the Mitsubishi Motors Badminton HorseTrials with his two top horses.
For me, it's normal to work with the horses, and this is a very lovely sport, and I like it very much. And this is not too much pressure for me to work every day with the horse. Every day is different, and you work outside, you work in the natural, and every horse is different. We work with many young horses, dressage horses, show jumpers, and eventing horses, and the same is on the competitions. I go to dressage competition, show jumping competition, and the eventing competitions. And this is, every competition is another competition, and it's very interesting to work with the horses. My absolutely top horse is Labioesthetic Sam. And we train in the winter, dressage and show jumping, and a little bit of the condition, because I would like to go badminton in spring, in the beginning of May. And we need good condition. I have 3 of the top horses, and Leopin goes the same competitions as Labioesthetic Sam. And Halunke starts a little bit later in the season because he has a long season. I like to go with him to the European Championship and to Po. And that's the reason why he starts a little bit later.
We can only go to badminton when the weather by us is not too bad, yes. Now we have a lot of snow, we cannot training outside, and we hope the next 2 weeks the weather are a little bit warmer and we can training outside. But our plan is to go to badminton with 2 horses, with Labioesthetic Sam and Leopin. England is the country of the sport, we know it, and badminton has a very good name. We were in badminton for a lot of years, for 15 years, 20 years, and look the competition, and it's fantastic, it's everything very good. And every time for Michael it was a wish to go to badminton, a dream from him.
This is one of the top competitions, and I think every rider would like to ride there. This is very important to ride the big competitions, and badminton is one of the top competitions, and to go there, to ride there is very nice, I think.
I know it's typical, isn't it? Why, the 1 year that I really need to win badminton, he's going to be there. So I think, it's fantastic that he's coming. As you say, it's always a little bit strange that a lot of the foreign riders don't come to badminton. They tend to stick at home and stick to the courses they know. But I think, if they're producing their horses for the championship, they need to do the right thing. Their badminton is Lamoulan, our badminton is badminton. So I think it sort of works out like that for all certainly the European countries. I think badminton will be a very big field. I think, full field, very high quality field. As I said, there's no big World Championship or Olympic Games to save your horse for, so everyone's going to be there. And one day someone's got to beat him. Someone's got to beat him. And everyone's going to be trying, aren't they? So it's not just me.
They're wanting to do it. It's rather than just saving themselves for their European Championships later in the year. They want to get to badminton because they've got a good horse, they're good riders, and it's something they want to put on their CV at the end of the day, being to badminton.
Andrew Nicholson has the most completions of any rider around badminton and is hoping to add another couple to that tally by steering Nerio and Avebury round this year. Having first completed 30 years ago, none of Andrew's success would have been possible without the network of support he has behind him.
I've got a very good bunch of support crew here. I have Annabelle Scrimmager, who helps me a lot with my dressage. She comes in this time of the year and rides a few. She's capable of going up the gallops with us, doing all sorts of. Got a couple of working pupils, Rebecca and Kate, who hopefully start eventing sometime this year. Anna, my head girl, she's from France. She'd worked for 2 years and then had a year back in France and has come back again, so she sort of keeps the stable system working along properly. I've been given an awful lot of advice along the way. I'm not very good at taking it though. I'm very good at doing the opposite to what I've been told to do and then realising I should have done what I was told to do the first time round, but that's me. I've been given a lot of advice on all sorts of things with it, and I am very much someone who takes a little while to work things out, especially in the dressage department. I perhaps have to go to some specialist trainer as a one-off type of thing. I might come away with them thinking, he hasn't really registered on what he's meant to be doing, and I'll go home, fiddle around, adapt it to the way I feel I can do it, and then go back again 3 months later. And that's pretty much how I've managed to train myself to the level I'm at. Cross country is my favourite. I've never ever had a cross country lesson. I've learnt it all sort of the hard way, but I love doing it, and it's a very motivating bit for me with the young horses. I produce all my horses myself. I buy most of them as like 3-4 year olds. And when you take them cross-country schooling, you've been grinding away on them at home for maybe 6 months. Suddenly I don't have any cross-country jumps at home. I go away to do it. And they feel like they love the freedom of cantering around a big open space and jumping over naturally typed fences. And I think it gives me a good buzz. I get to my first event with 5-year-olds and it's a bit hair-raising sometimes, but some that you thought were a bit chicken are suddenly very brave at a competition. Others you thought were very brave, get to the competition are very nervous, and it's what I do it all for, really.
Roll back to 2012, a golden year for equestrian sport, with one obvious void: the disastrous cancellation of the Mitsubishi Motors Badminton HorseTrials. Following its absence in the eventing calendar, preparations for this year have begun in earnest to ensure everything is ready for what's set to be an epic year. Known throughout the world for their fence-building talents, the Willis brothers play a pivotal role in getting the Badminton House Parkland ready for the beginning of the competition, and have been building the cross-country course there for many years. Making sure combinations are tested, spectators are enthralled, and the competition is exciting takes time and planning between course designer and builder.
You know, we work together. Hugh would say he would like one fence, done in silver birch or Douglas fir, and then we go to the woods. I see the forester, and he sort of takes out what I can have, and mostly storm damaged timber, and the crooked old bent old stuff even looks better than the new straight ones. Most of the big timber comes off this day, all the tree trunks, all the poles, but a lot of the other timber comes in from the sawmills, and we make the jumps up in our workshops. Most of them are portable now, and they come out of the buildings where we store them, and Hugh can roughly place them where he wants to, and then we can adjust it from there. But some of the fixed fences, they take a while longer, and we'll probably do those in the autumn or during the summer. Anything that needs a ditch or turfing or whatever, and groundwork, then that's done early. Of course, it's 99% in place, but we still need to do the painting and the decoration of the fences, which will come in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Just as long as the horses and the riders come home safely, that's all I'm really interested in.
I think the Willis brothers really are, they're artists, aren't they? I mean, their job is to create something that isn't seen anywhere else in the world, that's got the badminton features and a unique quality to one of the most prestigious courses in the world. And I think, certainly the riders go to badminton, people come to badminton to see badminton fences that you don't see anywhere else, and to see fences that you have never seen before. New challenges is what it's all about. So it's a tough job for the Willis brothers to always be thinking of something new, and be creative and keeping everyone entertained but also challenged. And I think it's a very tough job. But I mean, they present a superb course, and badminton has got some fantastic features that we all hope stay there, but every year the features change in the sense that the defence is different and the question is different.
Hugh Thomas has his own way of designing things, which I think is great that we do have a lot of different course designers. And he's got to put whatever he thinks in that is going to be jumpable, fair, but challenging to the top ones in the world. And I think for 3 and 4 star level, the technicality is raised to a big level. Badminton, say, is a place as Huntsman's Close. Whatever has been built over there over the years is always a major tricky bit in the course, in the way you're going from light into dark and then dark into light. And at that time of the year, the leaves seem to be all out on the trees, and it is very dark in there, so you have to be very alert. You have to make sure the horse is paying attention. If it's at the beginning of the course, which it is sometimes one way round, the horses perhaps might be running a bit free, you have to slow up a little bit more than you normally would. If it's at the end of the course, you perhaps have to wake the horse up a little bit beforehand and be a little bit more cautious but positive before you get to it. That type of thing there. And then another one is the lake. It's the sheer volume of people that you can feel the people before you hear them, kind of thing. It's quite an atmosphere around there, just with the amount of people, and the trade stand seems to be coming every year closer and closer. So if you're having a good ride and are being very competitive, you don't notice the crowds and those sort of things. It's if you're having a few bad jumps and your horse is feeling like it's not really wanting to be there, that's when you notice it. there's a lot of people and perhaps you don't really want to be there either.
We all do three-day eventing because we love cross-country. And you get to a three-day event and you suddenly wonder why, because that is obviously the stressful part. It's when the butterflies kick in and you feel, sick with nerves, but nerves of the desire to do well, the ambition, the fear of disappointment, and I think all those factors come into it. So you do wonder why, why you could be doing cross country when you could just do the dressage and the jumping. Because without doubt, for us in our sport, there's when you've got cross country, the nerves you get when you go to the dressage arena or the show jumping arena are very different.
As riders prepare to battle their nerves, spectators will arrive to watch their heroes and witness history in the grounds of this iconic venue.
Badminton is a bit like sort of Wimbledon or the Grand National. It's one of those great sporting events with such history behind it, more history than obviously any other horse trials. So I think that's why it's very special, and the atmosphere is quite unique there, and obviously you've got the added sort of pressure or the added atmosphere of all the thousands of people spectating there.
I think it's the history of it. It's been going a long time, and the crowds of people they get there. The whole place has a very electric type atmosphere. Even down at the stables, it's quite pressurised compared with other events. And I'm sure that's what sort of makes it.
Badminton is the most prestigious three-day event in the world, historically and amongst riders and owners. Luckily in eventing now we've got a lot of other prestigious events as well, but there is something about badminton and something that makes it that harder to win, if you will. I mean, I know someone wins every year, but it's one of those events that it's hard to master. There's something about badminton that has an aura, and it's certainly it's the event we all want to be at.